What's up, guys? It's Prowler here, and recently I've been getting a lot of requests of people asking me, to show them how to speed paint or digitally paint something. And so that's kind of what this tutorial is going to be. I'm going to show you guys the basics, and I'm going to go a little bit more in depth about how to get the right feel, how to get the right texture and details. So right now on your screen you can see this picture of Link. It's a digital painting of Link. It's a motivational painting too. It says, you got this in the corner. And I think it's really awesome. I think it's perfect for this tutorial because you can clearly see the shadows, the highlights, and the landscape is very simple. But you still get that motion, the feel of it, and you know exactly where the lighting is coming from. So I'm going to kind of go through and show you how you could approach this painting, say with a pen or mouse, or pen tool and mouse pad, or a tablet. I'm going to go through both ways. So basically, say I'm going to use my tablet first, and then I'll go into the pen tooling and mousepad after, because that was kind of my old method, and I obviously just got a tablet. So first I'm going to create a new document. I'm going to create a 1920 by 1080 document with about 200 resolution. Basically, you don't have to put up the resolution to 200. I just like to do it because it lets you get in those fine details, and a bigger canvas is always better. The real painters who do this for a living, they go to some absurd number of pixels, like 10,000 or some crazy number like that, just so they can get in that very minute detail, and their brushes are ridiculous as well. I will send you guys some of my brushes. I'll put a download link in the description once this video hits 50 likes, and then you guys can see what brushes I use and whatnot, and I'm going to kind of go over that soon as well. But for how to approach this painting, using a tablet first. So basically, you have a pretty simple white background, so I'm going to get that down really quick, and then I'm going to get more of the background color. And you want to generalize first. You need to try to observe the lighting, observe the character, or whatever you're trying to replicate, whether it's real life or fake, or if you just have something in your head, try to think of where the lighting is coming from. Right now in this painting, if you're looking at, say, his boots, you can see the highlights are on the right side, and on his back as well, and it's very dark underneath him, so the light's coming from somewhere up above him in this general vicinity up here, and then you're gonna have his shadows all down here, and you can see that his foot comes down like this and his shadows out here, so obviously the light's coming from this general direction. So now on my painting, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off with a white background, just a generalized layer. I'm going to rasterize that layer, and now I'm going to make a new layer. Every time you're putting down a new color, make a new layer. That way you can erase it if you need to, you can blend it, you can do whatever you want. Just always put a new layer. My latest painting, Fury, it only shows 136 at the top, but there's over 180 layers in this whole painting, I think. Yeah, I can't show you it, but I don't feel like going through all the folders, but there are 180 layers of different colors in this whole painting, and it looks, dark brown, tan, gray, but there are 180 layers total. So back to Link. You have a very light brown down here in this area, green tint all over him, and you got some white smoke and dust and green dust flying up and stuff like that. So very briefly, we're just going to kind of try to generalize it. So I'm going to try to get down that light tan, that tannish brown, and very simply with just a normal brush, a hard brush for now, and you can fade it using another brush later, but I'm just going to kind of get down that general tan color. And you're going to have to pay attention to where the horizon or the break in the foreground and the background is. So up here we have a very, very faint break between a green background and the horizon, which is white in this picture. So I'm going to try to get down this greenish, very, very, very lightly tinted blue color. And I'm going to try to generalize the brown that's going to be right here. So I'm going to try to get that very, very light green color. It's a very, very light greenish blue. going to try to find it. I mean, for the sake of time, I'm not going to really go into too much detail with it, but I'm going to lower my opacity a little bit, make a new layer, and I'm just going to kind of generalize it right now. But the main thing that picture has that I don't right now is a lot of texture, and the texture and the detail you're going to get in after. You don't really have to worry about it right off the bat. That's more of an after thing that you take care of. And then you have a little bit darker brown right up in the front foreground. And my opacity is very light. So I'm just gonna, whoops. Sometimes that'll happen, you'll lose your painting for a second, but that's okay. So, you know, I have 3 very simple colors that kind of represent what we're working with. And you know, that's all you need for now. And then you're going to go back later and get the textures in, the details, and all that junk. Okay, so obviously the main part of the picture is his figure. Now, a lot of paintings like this, they have very sharp edges, as you can see by, say, the bottom of his shield, very sharp. That you're going to want to use the pen tool for. And you know, if you're doing a mouse pad painting like this, this is where you're going to shine, really. You're going to want to kind of get that outer shape. See the hair? Don't worry about that just yet. You can brush that in after, or pen tool that in after. And you're going to want to try to work from back to front when it comes to, you know, background to foreground when it comes to a painting. You don't want to get something that's the front layer in and then have to work behind it afterwards. It doesn't work like that. So you're going to kind of want to look for the farthest point in this picture, and that's actually the back of this shield, I believe. So you have his hat in front of it, so you're going to work with what's behind it first, and his arm is in front of it as well. So very simply, you're just going to pen tool a shield. I'm not really sure. Yeah, so it's going to be up here. And I'm just going to kind of generalize it a little bit. I'm not really looking at it or anything like that. But you're just going to kind of want to generalize where his shield is. Alright, so I have something that looks decently like his shield. And I'm going to make a selection, hit OK, make a new layer on top of all my other layers. And I'm going to try to find that dark green color that he has. And usually what I like to do is I like to start off with the lighter color. So if there is a light green in there, I'd maybe start off with that. Whatever seems like the basic, the more, I don't know, frequent color in that piece, I'd get that in. And you just kind of, you brush it in, and you kind of generalize the color right now. And then you'll brush in all the details after. And so say I want to brush in, like, there seems to be this whole square piece right here. So I'm going to first get that little shadow in. And it's, you know, it's all about fooling around with the colors, and you're just going to put layers on layers. So I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to shrink my brush down a little bit here. It's a very sharp, it's not really faded, so I'm going to go to a sharp brush instead of a faded brush. And I'm just going to try to get in that shadow. And right now, I might need to go a little bit darker with the color. That is okay. That did not work. There we go. So this should make it a little bit darker. There we go. Now we're starting to get that tonal quality, that highlight, that darkness. And you can see it looks kind of like it. So that's what we're shooting for right now in this tutorial. You're just going to kind of get in here and get down some base colors. Towards the back, you're going to have a little bit of a shadow. And then towards the front, you're going to have a highlight. So I would switch to, say, a lighter brush, probably even lighter than this. Put it at a low opacity, and just kind of brush it in. And there you have it, guys. That's how you basically approach something with a tablet, a digital painting with a tablet, and you work at it piece by piece, and get in the shadows. Just pay attention to the lighting, guys. The light's coming from this way, so you're gonna have shadows all underneath him. Maybe if his knee's high enough, he's gonna have a little bit of light sneaking by there, so you can work with that. And then all this detail after, just brush in with whatever brush you want. Say, there was a little cloudiness down there, so I have a cloud brush somewhere in here. I'll find it and I'll use it. And if you guys want my brushes, remember, get this video to 50 likes and I'll help you guys out. So I'm gonna put this at 100% opacity, and then what I can do is kind of fade it out with the opacity of the actual layer itself if need be. And I'm gonna kind of get in that cloudiness that it has down here from his movement, and you work with that. And the same thing goes. Now I'm going to switch over, stop using my tablet, and I'm going to use that was me putting my pen down, by the way, and I'm going to use my pen tool and the brush of the actual, using the mouse pad. So I haven't done this in a while, so you're going to have to forgive me. But so say I want to get this arm piece right here. It's a very cool, powerful shape, and I don't know where its location is in the actual piece, but I'm going to try to replicate that. So I'm pen tooling right now what I think is the generalized shape. It actually looks a little too skinny compared to the painting. No, it's about right, actually. I'm just going to fix this piece right here because it kind of comes out and then it goes back to him, back to the start. Alright, so I pen tooled it, I made a new layer, and I made the piece the selection. So I'm going to go back to my original brush. Now when I'm pen tooling and using my mouse pad, I like to brush in with the faded brush. It's just easier for me, it seems. And so we're going to look back at our original reference. It's very light on the top, and you're going to want to kind of get that undercoat in, and then you can put in these highlights and the details, and just get the undercoat color in first. So I'm going to kind of get that color in. Oops, I switched tools by accident. That's what I get for not digitally painting with a mouse pad for a while. So I got the general color down. Now I'm going to work on the highlights and the shadows. So in a new layer, I'm going to look, and I see this dark green right there, and a couple lines coming down from it. So what I'm going to do is, I can either try to paint it in with my mouse pad, which can be very difficult at sometimes, because you might not get it right, whatever. I'm going to switch back to my dark green. I'm going to use my pen tool again, and I'm going to look at my brush size. My brush size seems about right, and you'll see what I'm looking for. Now I'm going to go down to stroke path, and I'm going to hit OK. Now what that did was created a giant green line across, and what you can do is you can angle it more. Let's say I want to have a little bit more of an angle there. There we go. I'm going to have more of a curve and do the same thing. And then I'm going to delete that path. Now I'm going to make a few little lines coming out from it. And this is how you'd approach it with a pen tool rather than, say, a mouse or a tablet. And you're going to have to generalize it. And it's going to end up with sharper edges rather than before. Alright, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stroke. Actually, I'm going to stroke the whole path, not the subpath. I'm going to choose the whole path. Now I'm going to stroke the path. And see, it's a little too thick for what it looked like originally, so I'm going to drop down the brush size a little bit more. Maybe to about half that, to a 5. I'm going to do the same thing I just did. stroke path, and there we go. And you're just going to keep doing that. Get the highlights down, get the shadows. Underneath there's a shadow, underneath here there's a little bit more of a shadow, and there's a highlight up top. So with the make selection path, keeping you from going outside of the boundary, make a new layer, and I'm going to actually brush it in with a mouse pad, and I'm going to drop my opacity down a little bit here. And it's a little too much still. You're just going to kind of work with it here. Maybe a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter. And you just keep going over the layers, color on top of color. And then I'm going to darken the bottom a little bit here. And it'll come little by little. If you put it on a lower opacity, just keep going over it, and you'll get it piece by piece. And I'm just kind of generalizing for now, but that's how you digitally paint, guys. I hope this helped a lot. If you get this video to 50 likes, I'm going to put out a download link for all my brushes that I use. And that's a ton of brushes, guys. I have plenty of texture brushes, clouds, cracks, whatever you're going to need to digitally paint. Also some very helpful wings, lighting brushes, and yeah. So I hope this helped, guys. That's just basically how I approach a painting. I get the base color down, then I kind of work with the details on top of it, and you're going to work from background to foreground, and it's going to take time, guys. It's not, you can't do a digital painting in 45 minutes unless you're a pro, and my paintings take me 3 to 5 hours depending, sometimes 7 like Nightmare, and it's just about getting the base color, then getting the details over it. So once again, I hope this helped, guys. I hope you liked this video, so you can get your download link, and drop a subscription if you haven't already, and follow me on Twitter, like my Facebook page. I put a lot of stuff on those two things, specifically my Facebook page. I give sneak peeks of projects and whatnot, if anything like that, giveaways, whatever, so go check that stuff out. Drop a sub if you haven't already. Like this video. Comment below if you need any more explanation or anything like that. And feel free to add me on Skype. My Skype is Dan6010, and my real name is Sam. So don't call me Dan, please. But that's it, guys. Hope this helped. Talk to you guys later. Peace.
Right.
What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. Please leave a like and a comment. Go subscribe to Octane. Subscribe to me. Follow me on Twitter. Like my Facebook page. And check out my network, Fullscreen. Thanks, guys. Peace.